No, 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 no. I, yes, I did say I would use that song for an intro, but I was just kidding. I can't play that song on YouTube. Why? First of all, copyright infringement, and the lyrics of that song will probably get me kicked off YouTube. Sorry. Sorry, folks. Production team. Okay, let's work on another song. Until then, let's let it rip. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Ronald Ray here, your boy with a cornbread accent. Welcome you to this week's episode of Wrestling Gold Friday Night. So, did anybody catch my new intro there? If you did, let me know what you thought about it. Hello, Brenda Watson, number one. I know I'm number one. I'm number one to somebody. Anyway, like I said, appreciate everybody tuning in. Uh, Hopefully we got a good show going on here. We're going to check out some USA Championship Wrestling, go through some history, and just do the typical, bullshit about old school wrestling. Oh, excuse me. Oh, number one fan? Yep, Brendan Watson, my number one fan. I have a fan. Yes. 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 I have a fan. Uh, anyway, hopefully everybody had a good week this week. Hopefully I'm the only one that's got to work this weekend. I got to work a little bit tomorrow, but not too long or anything like that. Uh, anyway, let me do the usual spiel here. If this is your first time watching, appreciate. If you're a long time watcher, appreciate. This is episode 8. Like I said, if you want to, if you're watching live, join us on the chat. What's up, Joe King? You can open your eyes. You gotta have fun. Just trying to have a little fun. Sort of an inside joke a little bit on the little intro there, uh, but yeah, if this is your first time, yeah, you gotta work tomorrow. Also, I'm sorry. Heck, you might have to work longer than I do. I mean, heck, I might not even break a sweat. Depends on what the weather's like in the morning. But anyway, like I said, if you're watching live, hey, join us in the chat. Even just to say hello, I will say hello back. Also, if you're watching on replay, leave a comment. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think about that intro if you were able to watch it, or hopefully able to keep this one. I had to stop the other one because copyright, but maybe I didn't. Maybe I was able to keep this one a little bit. Hopefully, it wasn't long enough to where uh, anybody will notice. But if it is, just change it up again. No problems there. Uh, Also, if you like what you hear, you're entertained, and just like the information I'm spewing out here, or just entertainment, just want to watch a train wreck. Hey, today's the day to do it. Don't have the Monster Energy drink today, so, but I don't know. I got a vent that's right there. I know I'm babbling. I got vents right there. Uh, so in case you ever wonder why, hey, it's 9 degrees outside. Why is he wearing a hoodie? The vents right there, and I like to keep my place. chilled. Because if I don't keep it at certain degrees, other places will get hot. But the vent's like right there, so it hits me, but I don't want to cut it up and down and all that garbage. But anyway, like I said, hit the like button. Also, if you haven't yet, hey, be a champ. Click on that subscribe button. Hit that notification bell. Uh, and all that good shit. All right, now we got that out of the way. Like I said, how's everybody doing? Let me toss my phone somewhere. I do got it on silent, but I'll probably hear it buzz. Um, like I said, I don't have the Monster Energy drink, but I got Mountain Dew, man. Got Mountain Dew today. No, none of these people sponsor, but ugh, this will definitely perk me up. Sugary. Anyway, let's see what else. What can we get ourselves into today? Yes, like I said, I got some USA wrestling coming up. Let's see. And of course, I'm doing my. I mean, you kind of tell my production team didn't work too hard on the intro. They almost screwed up big time. But we'll see what will happen. What is all this? Sorry. Just kind of doing some last minute stuff here. Yeah, that's what I was wanting to look up. All right. All right, let's see here. Let's get into the let's get in some history here. Why don't we run this stuff down? Then we get into our watch along here. Like I said, I do got USA Championship Wrestling. It was a small promotion ran by Ron Fuller. He had sold Continental. Anyway, I'll get in all that later. Let's get into history because I'm starting to bat with this going all over the place today. It's kind of what I do. Anyway, where's my notes? There we go. All right, we're gonna go back to all the way back to 1944. Why? Because this guy here, if you're any kind of Mexican wrestling fan, Lucha Libre, this is I believe he was probably one of the first big stars of Lucha Libre and wrestling in Mexico. Dude was in soap operas, had movies. You can go on like YouTube or Tubi and I believe Amazon as well and see him in movies. If you speak Spanish, you can actually pay attention to what's going on. Going along. Don't know if they have English dubs. They might. One of those people might. But anyway, this guy right here, back in 1954 in Mexico City, Mexico, El Santo defeated Tuffy Truesdale in a tournament final to win the Mexican National Middleweight Championship for the third time. Uh, Tarzan Lopez defeated Santo for the title back in April 1st, but had to vacate a week later as he was the world middleweight champion. Santo will hold on to the championship for most of the next 10 years. How long exactly is unknown. That's what the notes say. Um, but yes, so if you're a fan of the Lucha Libre and stuff like that, hey, go back and watch some of that stuff. That stuff was some of that stuff might hold up today. Maybe hold up today. But like my usual spiel, if you're a fan of that high flying, fast paced stuff, learn your history. Go watch some stuff. It's out there for everybody to watch. Um, which I don't have to go old school here, so hopefully it doesn't mess anything up. All right, back in this day in 1972, there was a show in Montreal, Canada, at the Montreal Forum, the match of the century. Uh, let's see. Basically, the card goes like this. There was a match between this guy right here named Don Leo Jonathan. Guess this guy right here. Probably can't recognize him too much. He's a little slimmer and all that. That gentleman was going by the name of John Fier at the time, but he would grow up a little more and be called Andre the Giant. Uh, but anyway, Don Leo Jonathan defeated him by DQ. Uh, Don Leo Jonathan is a very legendary name in the business, of course. Um, made his wrestling debut after World War II. Uh, actually has a was a big star in Canada. Uh, let's see what else. He was actually featured in the movie Paradise Alley by Sylvester Stallone. Let's see. Had the NWA World Tag Team title with Dominic DeNucci in 1966, and a record 18 Canadian Tag Team titles between 1964 and 1978, as well as challenging for the NWA World Championship against such title holders as Gene Kiniski, Dory Funk Jr., and Jack Briscoe. He also engaged in feuds with Kiniski and Dutch Savage and All Star, as well as teaming with him in 1972. Uh, this match was billed as the match of the century. Uh, Jonathan would beat Andre the Giant by disqualification. Uh, Another match on September 7th, 1972 was about the Giants. This guy, you know, at the time he wrestled, I believe he was a legit 6'6", so not a lot of 6'6" men going around those days. Um, let's see, what else can we find out about him? Jonathan wrestled his final match, teaming with Andre the Giant and Roddy Piper to defeat the Sheep Herders and Buddy Rose in Vancouver before retiring from the ring that year. Um, let's see. In 2006, he was conducted in the Professional Wrestling Hall of Fame in Amsterdam, New York, which moved to Texas. Now it's totally closed. Let's see what else. That's about it. Uh, but yeah, had a lengthy career himself. Let's get back to the main stuff. So if you're, like I said, I just always heard about the name Don Leo Jonathan. Never did see him, so thought I'd read up about him a little bit. Let's see. All right, next up in 1972, Gene and Ole Anderson defeated Bob Armstrong and Robert Fuller for the Georgia Tag Team Championships. This was 1974 in Atlanta, Georgia, at the Omni. Other matches on that card was in a cage match. Special referee Pat O'Connor, Andre the Giant defeated Cowboy Bill Watts. In a no DQ match for the NWA World Title, Jack Briscoe defeated Dusty Rhodes. Mr. Wrestling 2 defeated Buddy Colt. To retain the Georgia title, Jerry Briscoe defeated Pat Patterson to retain the Southern States title. Hey, there we go. Ron and Terry Garvin, yes, Ronnie Garvin, man with hands of stone, picture right there with his brother Terry Garvin. Of course, Terry Garvin went on to work in the WWF and let's just say got in some trouble and quit working there early 90s, I think, not around 92. Let's see. Anyway, Ron and Terry Garvin, I do believe that's Jimmy Garvin right there in the middle, defeated Pat O'Connor and Steve Kern. Bob Sweetain defeated Jerry Oates. And by golly, somebody booked him. Dennis Stamp defeated Boris Malenko by DQ. Of course, if you remember Beyond the Mat, that documentary, this is the same. Dennis Stamp was like, "No, Terry, I'm not showing up. Nobody's booked me." And Terry's like, "You're booked now. You're going to referee my and Brett's match." So um, he defeated Boris Malenko. Of course, Boris Malenko is the father of Dean Malenko. Uh, Art Nelson defeated Jackie Welch. All right. On this day in 1975, Ed Wiskowski wins the Central States title by defeating Jerry Oates. Who is Ed Wiskowski? In case you thought he looked a little familiar, well, he should look a little familiar because he grew up to be Colonel De Beers. And I just watched, what was it, last week? Week before last? I watched the match in the angle where he threw Jimmy Snuka from the top rope to the floor and hit that face first pile driver. causing them to feud a little bit in the AWA, and that was some kind of wild stuff, especially for AWA at the time. All right, in this date in 1976, Jerry Lawler and his manager Sam Bass at the Mid South Coliseum wrestled Gentleman Ben the Wrestling Bear. Probably it's not a good picture there with the bear there. That's supposed to be the actual Gentleman Ben the Wrestling Bear. Uh, he would defeat, of course, Jerry Lawler and Sam Bass by DQ in a handicap match. Other matches that night was Rosie Jones beat Nick Adams, Dennis Hall, and Danny Miller defeated the Bounty Hunters. Bill Dundee and Plowboy Frazier beat Jim White and Sam Bass. By God, that's not a good night for Sam Bass. Southern Tag Team Champions Don Green and the Scorpion defeated, or excuse me, battled Tommy Rich and Danny Miller to a double DQ. And Southern Champion Jerry Lawler beat Don Anderson. So at least he had a little, at least Jerry Lawler and Sam Bass had a little bit of success. Sam Bass lost. Sam Bass was in the corner, but then had to lose against the Wrestling Bear. All right. On this date in 1981, Jake Roberts defeated the Grappler to win the Mid South North American Champion, North American title in Shreveport, Louisiana. Uh, now how? Now check this out. Okay, back in the day, as many of you probably done heard, the NWA champion was a traveling NWA champion. He had a hell of a schedule. So on this date in 1981, the world champion at the time was Handsome Harley Race. He did an afternoon show where he faced Ted DiBiase, defeated Ted DiBiase in Jacksonville, Florida. That night, he would come back to the Omni in Atlanta to face Tommy Rich, in which Tommy Rich, defeated Harley Race, but by DQ. This wasn't the night that Tommy Rich won it, um, but yeah. So he came back to the Omni same day, had a match in Jacksonville that night in Atlanta at the Omni. So yeah, uh, back as far as 1981, the world champion had a hell of a schedule. Uh, Other matches at the Omni Night was Ricky and Robert Gibson. Yes, Robert Gibson of the Rock and Roll Express and his legit brother Ricky Gibson were a pretty good tag team. They defeated the French Angel and Bobby Eaton. Steve-O defeated Brian St. John. Mike Sharp defeated Ken Patera by DQ. Looks like Ted DiBiase also had a double shot here. He defeated Nikolai Volkov. Ole and Gene Anderson defeated the Freebirds, Terry Gordy, and Buddy Roberts in a steel cage match to retain the NWA World Tag Team titles. The Junkyard Dog defeated Michael Hayes in a dog collar match. Abdullah Butcher battled Bruiser Brody to a no contest. As I already mentioned before, Tommy Rich did defeat NWA World Champion Harley Race by DQ. Bruce Butch Reed defeated Bruiser Brody by DQ in a lights out match. I thought the whole point of a lights out match is, not sanctioned and didn't really need a DQ. Battle to the finish. Anyway, so yeah, not only did the world champion had to do a double shot, so did Ted DiBiase. So man, that looks like a hell of a card too. I wish I was able to drive back then. That'd been a hell of a car to go see. And that just because we was talking about it last week on the last week's Wrestling Gold Friday night when I was watching Puerto Rico. Bruiser Brody and Abdul Butcher for a long time feuded with each other. I mean, we're talking back all the way in 1981. All right, let's move along here. 1982 in Memphis, Tennessee, at the Mid South Coliseum, King Cobra defeated Bobby Eaton to win the Mid American title. On this date in 1998, WWF presented In Your House 22 Over the Edge from the Wisconsin Center Arena. Now it's known as U.S. Cellular Arena in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. 9,822 were in attendance. 2011 or 211,000 homes watching it on pay per view. Um, Apparently, they put in this notes here, 309,000 homes actually watched the In Your House 21 Unforgiven. Gosh, I remember this one not being, it was okay, but not good. I think Unforgiven was supposed to be pretty good. Anyway, that night, we saw LOD 2000, of course, the Road Warriors. Hawk and Animal defeated Disciples of Apocalypse, basically Ron and Don Harris. Let's see. Jeff Jarrett defeated Steve Blackman. Mark Miro defeated Sable in 21 seconds. With the loss, Sable was forced to leave the WWF. Had she won, her managerial contract with Mark Miro would have been nullified. However, Sable's absence didn't last long. Of course, she was brought back by Vince McMahon just 2 weeks later, with no concrete explanation was given. Yeah, sometimes WWF at the time, Vince Russo was booking, and they were kind of hot. I mean, they were in a battle, so um, they were kind of hot shot a few things. But I think this is when they was really starting to pick up steam and actually starting to beat Nitro in the ratings. Let's see, Kayatai, Dip Pogo, Men's Tai, and Sho Funaki defeated Taka Michinoku and Justin Brashaw in a 3-on-2 handicap match. The Rock defeated the Baruch to retain the WWF Intercontinental Championship. Kane defeated Vader in a mask versus mask match. Uh, I don't know. Was this the match where Vader stepped out and called himself a fat piece of shit? Anyway, the Nation of Domination. Owen Hart, Kama Mustafa, and D'Lo Brown defeated D Generation X, Triple H, Billy Gunn, and Road Dogg. And of course, your main event that night was Steve Austin defeated Dude Love in a no disqualification falls count anywhere match to retain the WWF Championship. I think that they were also tag team champions at the time. Trying to remember. My memory's not that great. Not as great as it used to be. Can't remember a lot of this, even though I watched a lot of it at the time. But man, sometimes you go 10 years before this, I remember freaking everything. All right. Last but not least, in 1999, Bam Bam Bigelow and Diamond Dallas Page defeated Kenyon and Saturn, who was subbing for Raven, to win the WCW Tag Team titles. Of course, later on, Kenyon would team up with Bam Bam Bigelow and Diamond Dallas Page to form the Jersey Triad, which pretty much they did a Freebirds rules thing where, you know, any two of the combination of the three was able to defend the WCW World Tag Team titles. All right. So yeah, I mean, I kind of remember that LOD 2000 gimmick. That WrestleMania they were managed by Sunny. She she was looking hot at the time. Believe believe it or not. Um, I mean, they gave her a nice little LOD type out or really skimpy outfit. But basically they gave LOD a new coat of paint a little bit, shoulder pads. Uh, they also did a hockey mask. I think Animal say knew somebody who would paint hockey masks and gave him the hockey mask. And uh, Hulk was in a good place. I think he was having some, you know, alcohol problems or something like that. He's supposedly I think he said it too. He just took his helmet one day and just kicked it out to the crowd. Wish I was the person in the crowd was able to catch that helmet. Those helmets look pretty freaking. Those hockey mask helmets look pretty freaking cool. Uh, but you know they grew their hair out a little bit and changed their makeup just a bit. But this didn't this didn't turn out too well. They added draws to the mix. Uh, Made him like a third member. Then had the whole angle where had the whole angle where those kind of you know, basically art imitating life. Hawk will act drunk or whatever, and Elo or Charles would be like, telling Animal, hey, just forget him. And I think it was supposed to turn out that Charles was actually the pusher or whatever. They did an angle where Hawk was like climb off top of the Titantron, and Charles pushed him off, and uh, I don't think they really gave like a satisfying ending or whatever. It just, eh, this ended. I think Hawk did come back or whatever, and they did turn against Draws, and I don't think they were there much longer. Yeah, it wasn't a memorable run. The LOD 2000. Um, I would I would almost bet that was probably something that they weren't proud of, especially the whole addict angle. Um, some things in life don't need to be imitated. I mean, like I said, I mean, it's the CM Punk Chris Jericho angle they did because CM Punk straight edge and all that. That was okay because he was straight edge, and I guess Jericho was trying to get him to drink or whatever, and of course, Punk didn't. I barely remember that move. That I barely remember that feud. And we know I was kind of watching pretty steadily at the time. Not every week, but just about. Um, but not getting the pay per views as often at the time. But yeah, like I said, LOD 2000. I say if you're gonna watch the Road Warriors, uh, stop when they find Rocco. uh, Once they watch their WWF run, when Paul Ellering finds Rocco, stop. Just stop right there. You've seen enough. uh, Nothing more to see. Go back to watch their Japan stuff. I think they did a lot of stuff in Japan. Um, let's see. Yeah, Animal would like take a take a long break from wrestling because he had a back injury. Uh, and that's when Hawk went back to Japan and formed the Hellraisers with Kensuke Sasaki. I think that's yeah. Um, and he was he was the Power Warrior. They just gave him a coat of paint. He already had the hairdo. They just put some face paint on him, gave him some spikes, and now you're a Hellraiser. Uh, then of course Animal did come back. They made an appearance at WCW. Had a pretty decent match with Harlem Heat. Um, Decent, okay match with Steiner Brothers on Nitro. I think that ended in Smalls. Then there was, I think it was because it was Sting and Luger, the tag team champions in WCW. Hawk and Animal challenged for him. Unfortunately, Lex Luger, Jimmy Hart came out and said Lex Luger because I think Lex Luger said, "Hey, let's have a Chicago street fight," and it's actually kind of entertaining here because Lex Luger's like, "Okay, let's have a Chicago street fight," and Sting was like looking at him like, "Are you freaking crazy, dude?" He's like, "What? I'm from Chicago." Sting's like, "Yeah, you're from the good side of Chicago. These guys are from the streets of Chicago. They're no, it's not the same." But somehow Jimmy Hart came in and it's like, "No, you got your match in the cage because Lex Luger was kind of a tweener at the time. He was being managed by Jimmy Hart in the Dungeon of Doom for a little bit. Uh, but then Booker T took uh, Luger's place, and they made a deal. Say, hey, if we win, you guys give Harlem Heat or me and my brother, Stevie Ray, a shot at the belts, and they agreed to that. And the Sting Booker T Road Warriors street fight, it went too bad. I mean, it's nothing. It was no anarchy in the arena or anything like that. It was just a punch, kick, and press slam and all that good shit. But it was okay, not bad. I mean, that's what the Road Warriors did. They punch, kick, and kicked your ass. Um, let's see. And see, like I said, I'll just go off on a tangent. All right, screen, don't be. Thought I fixed you. Don't be messing with me today. All right. So, are we ready to watch a little USA wrestling? Yay! Uh-oh, I got a bunny. All right, let's see. Let me get everything worked up here. Uh, yeah, not a lot of information is given here. Kind of. There we go. Okay, so brief little history about USA Wrestling. In 1988, Ron Fuller sold his interest in Continental Championship Wrestling to David Woods. In March 1988, Ron opened USA Championship Wrestling in Knoxville, Tennessee. USA ran shows all over East Tennessee and Kentucky with announcers himself, Ron Fuller, and Gordon Soley calling the action. The roster included Terry Gordy, Ron Wright, The Bullet, the Party Boys, Johnny and Davey Rich, Rock and Roll RPMs, Mike Davis and Tommy Lane, Buddy Landale, Wendell Cooley, Nelson Royal, Doug Furnace, Scott Armstrong, Bill Dundee, Tommy Rich, Eddie Guerrero, Todd Morton, and much more. Uh, USA had a great summer, but Ron Fuller ended up selling USA to the same man he sold Continental to, David Woods, in August of '88. That's when Woods merged USA with Continental to become the Continental Wrestling Federation. Uh, USA was only around for a few months, but let them, well, according to this, let their major impression. I thought it was good. I remember watching the shows. I thought they were pretty good, but like I said, we're about to watch an episode right now, and let's see what you folks think. You guys ready? Let's see. Pull this up, and
Thank you so very much, and welcome to another hour of USA Championship Wrestling. I'm Gordon Soley, your host. Joining me here at the desk,
and of course it is. Like I just
Fuller.
said, Gordon Soul
Ron,
is doing the
next hour
play-by-play
is going
because
to
hey,
be most interesting because we're
if you're
going
going
to
to
be
start a new
seeing
promotion, might as well
and
have the
talking
best announcer you
especially
can
on our
get. And
personality profile
still at that time,
the
all right,
Australian Bill
Gordon
Dundee.
Soul is pretty much a
Right,
free
Gordon.
agent.
What a great
So I mean,
athlete
he
he
wasn't
is.
tied down to
He's a small man
WCW
in stature, but
or
certainly
anybody
a
else
large
at the
man in
time.
heart. And he's a great
And of course, that's
competitor.
from Fuller.
It's going to be
He
a
was,
real pleasure. I think our USA
I think, a
Video of the
legit
Week, in fact, is
6'10".
on Bill Dundee this week.
Father
And we're
was
going to be
Buddy
seeing Super
Fuller.
Kick Scott
Brother, of course,
Armstrong. We're going to be seeing
is
Johnny and Davy Ridge,
Robert Fuller.
Buddy
Of course, Robert
Landell,
Fuller you
and Ron
remember
Wright's
as
dog,
Colonel
and
Rob
talking to
Parker
a whole lot more
in
people. It's going to be a great
WCW.
hour.
It is
Cousin,
indeed,
of
and
course,
during
is
this
Jimmy
hour, too,
Golden.
we'll bring you up to date as
Of
to
course, you folks
where
know him
wrestling may
as
be held in your area. Right now, we have our first match upcoming, and it
Bunkhouse
will
Buck.
be
That's what it
Johnny
was.
and Davy Rich
At
in an
Brain Park.
Australian tag team event. Tommy Withers is our referee, and now let's turn it over to our ring announcer, Phil Rainey.
Yes.
Our first match on today's program will be a one-fall match with a 15-minute time limit. First of all, introducing with a combined weight of 480 pounds from Hendersonville, Tennessee, J.D. Wolf and Craig Brown.
J.D. Wolf, I think he kind of ventured around a lot as a enhancement talent.
Johnny and Davy Rich. One fall, 15-minute time limit.
So, of course, Johnny Rich, the cousin of Tommy Rich. That's what he's always billed as.
Impressive youngsters, Johnny and Davy Rich. They are cousins, and they carry on the proud
Let's see.
tradition in professional
Of course,
wrestling.
Johnny started out his career as Roy Rogers in Memphis. And Davy Rich there, you might could recognize him. He, wow, Davy not fucking around today, is he? So let's go. Anyway, Davy Rich competed for a long time as David Haskins in the Haskins Town for Memphis and the UWF of Bill Watts. And I believe he did some in WWF. And of course, they both wound up going to WCW and becoming and become enhancement talent.
They're a great combination, Johnny and Davy.
Certainly no question about that, and obviously they're looking for that USA Tag Team Championship. Wow! Boy, you talk about beautiful teamwork. They've got it, these two.
So, like I said, I'm not. If anybody knows, if anybody watches this knows, is Johnny Rich the legit cousin of Tommy Rich? And is Davy Rich the legit cousin of both of them?
Well, they certainly are going to have an opportunity to go after it, no question about that. They finished third in the tournament.
But I think this is, let's see, because
They never did meet the
I do remember when they switched to Continental Wrestling Federation, they was brought into Continental to that promotion as the top babyface tag team. So this is basically the only push really Davey got in his career.
The other team's yet to tag. That's usually the mark of a great team.
And they always play it out because everybody kind of seen Davy Rich before as David Haskins, and they're like, he went by the name David Haskins. He didn't want to go by Rich and trying to ride the coattails of Tommy and Johnny, or really Tommy. Try to make a name of his own, but. He's a big, ugly fella.
As that side headlock, the tag is made. Johnny Rich moving in. Nice drop kick coming off the ropes.
I love their teamwork, Gordon. They're very deceiving. A lot of things they do. Most of the time, the opponent never sees that second man coming, and that's very effective. He's not looking for him, and
Big fella has like no facial expressions whatsoever. He's got that same stone face. Hey, there you go. That's how you bring an emotion to the guy. Pull him by the beard. Pull the, beard hairs.
Not to much avail, however. All right. Side headlock now by Johnny Rich.
Johnny and Davey like to call themselves the Party Boys. And along with Scott Armstrong, the three of them, they go to all the smaller cities throughout this area like Jellicoe and Pineville this week, Whitley City, Kentucky, Greenville, Tennessee, and and they create some pandemonium. I'll tell you, not only at the matches, they create some pandemonium around town before and after the matches.
Yeah, they do indeed. Their reputation as party boys has certainly preceded them everywhere they go. They do love the party. Tag is made. Craig Brown tagging up with J.D. Wolf. And Wolf moves back into the ring. And so Wolf is indicating that
Yeah,
they want to
Johnny's
go
probably like,
Fist
look,
City. He's
put
ready.
another guy
Locks
in
up
here.
collar and elbow. Gets the side headlock on Johnny Rich. Mounts some more pressure. Now Rich fires from a beautiful drop toe hold.
Very nice. Very nice move, and I like the way he cinched it up after he took it.
All right. Back pressure now on the leg, and with that other leg crossed over.
Johnny here, I mean, he's at this point he's been wrestling. Let's see, 88.
Once he cut off that circulation,
I want to say late 70s to start. I mean, he's been
legs, of course, the most powerful,
well over 10 years at this point. Because actually, Johnny Rich, Steve Armstrong, and Scott Armstrong were known as the Rat Patrol in Southeastern around, I guess, 83, 84.
Well, obviously, that tag team championship is what they want. And they don't mind going through anybody they have to get a shot at the RPMs.
J.D. Wolf keeps grabbing his nose, Gordon. I believe the boy's either broken his nose early
Don't you forget about old Davey Rich?
He's having a real problem.
Not really very memorable.
A few times already in this match.
I mean, the one thing I do remember about Davey Rich is when he was David Haskins. Terry Taylor had just turned heel, and they were in a match together. And Terry dropped his knee pad and did a knee drop on him, causing him to bust open, and bled like a stuffed pig. I mean, it was the whole Crimson Mask face, whatever you want to call it, as Warren Soley would call it. That was definitely David Rich, David Haskins that night. I think the referee wound up stopping it too, because he just kept on dropping knees, and pounding that head. Oh, there's that Lucas press.
Perfectly executed high vertical body block that took the starts out. Let's take a look at it in replay, Ron, and give us your expertise.
Well, as you can see here, Davey starts him across the ring. It's another one of those maneuvers that they're not expecting. Davey drops down, and Johnny seems to come from no place. Right across there with that, and I think Tommy Rich made that particular move famous. Johnny's gone along with it, and Davey too, and they got a victory.
USA Championship Wrestling coming to Jellicoe, Tennessee, Monday, March 14th at the high school. Tuesday, March 15th, Pineville, Kentucky.
But yes, Ron Fuller, I mean, he did have a pretty good wrestling career himself. He was the original Tennessee Stud before he retired, and I guess Robert Fuller would take it over, and he would wrestle and form his own stud stables.
Tag team championship goes on the line with the Rock and Roll RPMs versus Johnny and Davey Rich. The Tennessee Heavyweight Championship with Doug Furnace versus Nature Boy Buddy Landell.
Now, Doug Furnace, he was okay at this. He was okay, still green as grass at this point, but he would definitely make a name in Japan.
In an international heavyweight championship, the Universal Hog
teaming with Dan Crawford, who later became, Phil LaFleur in the WWE. I think they call themselves the Can-Am Express in Japan. All Japan, I believe they were.
By the way, now we're
Their
back
top
at our
tag team.
regular time at 1 o'clock every Sunday afternoon. We hope that you'll tune us in.
Now, I hate to say it, been watching some old Memphis lately and watching old Texas, and then, kind of scramble through some of these. I will say the Rock and Roll RPMs are pretty underrated as far as tag teams at this time. I mean, because you got to think, 80s, you had a bunch of tag teams, lots of tag teams.
19th in Knoxville, the titles are on the line. The Riches have finally got a title shot, not that you deserve it. The biggest night Knoxville, Tennessee has ever seen, primarily because of the RPMs and the US to A tag team titles. But we got big stars, Gordon Soley. We got Austin Idol coming in. And we got Terry Bam Bam Gordy. He's been known to rock and roll a few times too, hasn't he, Tommy?
I'm telling you. So what you're looking for, Knoxville, you're looking for the greatest night it's ever seen, primarily because of
Actually,
rock and roll
Tommy
RPM,
Lane there,
so
he
you
was
better get ready.
he was one of the original partners of Maury Jannetty. He teamed with him in Central States that call themselves the Uptown Boys.
Certainly one of the most
They're
successful,
basically rock and roll express type tag team. They call himself Tommy Rogers at the
Not
time.
only is he a manager, but he's a coach and a trainer.
And that is the original. Y'all gotta listen to this dude talk.
Mr. Wright, you do have two very impressive athletes.
No doubt. I've got two of the toughest athletes in the wrestling in the world today. And you know, it's a shame. I used to be one of the toughest wrestlers too, but I've had, in the past few years, a very, very bad heart. And all I can do is sit at ringside and coach these men. With a bad heart like I've got, I can never get involved in any matches. I can't interfere. That's the reason you always see me there, being a perfect, well-dressed gentleman in the ringside.
Well, now, I do have people that have come up to me and complained about the fact that you do, in fact, interfere.
No. Look, these people around here, these are Tennessee people. They're some of the biggest liars in the world. That's the reason I had to move completely out of the state of Tennessee, because I didn't like living here where all of the liars was at. They'll sit up here and tell you anything, but all you've got to do is keep your eye on me sitting there in the corner, and you know I never interfere ever in a match. Why in the world would I have to interfere with these men's matches when I've got the two toughest men in the world right here in the corner? Don't have to interfere, don't have to give them any help, just a little professional coaching from the sideline.
Well, I'll tell you what, we've got, this is a match that took place about 3 weeks ago, and I would like to have you explain, if you will, the Mongolian Stomper's actions.
All the Stomper's doing is just like I've told him to do. Put that man flat of his back on that man and stomp his head off. Just keep your cameras on it. All he's doing is beating the man's head. If you get the camera around there, you'd see me sitting in the corner being a perfect gentleman.
Wait a minute.
I'm trying to help the poor man back up in the ring. That's all I
that
done.
is
Didn't
how
do
a
a
heel
thing to
manager
him.
is supposed to be.
We certainly have a difference in ocular observation of the situation.
Well, what you need to do is go to the eye doctor and have your glasses examined, because I've got a funny feeling you need a new set, Gordon.
I forgot how old he is
Well,
at this point.
I'm sure all of you who are watching,
always
this match
kept-
took
that
place
guy
3
always
weeks
kept
ago
a
in
picture.
Knoxville at the Grand Ballroom. And again, you see the Mongolian Stomper doing what he does best.
Just what I told him to do, put him flat of his back and lay that number 14 boot to his head. He's done got him bleeding around the hairline there real bad now. He's got the man at his mercy.
All right, well, he
Got the
scores
3
10.
count on him, the man got his hands up, and that was all of it. These people around here just need to stay tuned, keep their eyes on me and these two men, because I want to tell you something, Mr. Soley, we're going to make wrestling history right here in this part of the country. You can take your money and put it in a bank and bet on what I'm telling you.
All right, the comments from Ron Wright, who is the manager, trainer, confidant, if you will, of the dog and, of course, of the Mongolian Stomper. Well, gentlemen, I appreciate you coming out.
It's been our pleasure, and the next time we're out here, I don't want you trying to lie anything and put any lies in these people's minds about me interfering, because I have a hard time with the bad heart I've got just coming to and from the ring with my men. We appreciate you.
All right, here again we see you in the ring, and it certainly
I
appears
think the
to me
last
that you're
company
very much
Ron Wright worked in was Smoky Mountain. He was the manager of Dirty White Boy Tony Anthony, and they
can see that all I tried to do was help the man up on his feet to get him back
they
there in the
abolished their
dressing room before
Southern
the Stomper
heritage, or
practically killed
quit
the man.
saying they were even
Then
from the
what did we
South,
have? We got a
anywhere
bunch
from
of
the
idiots
South,
that come running
especially
out of the dressing
Tennessee,
room, get
and
out
said they
here
were
and
from New
interfere
York.
in my match. Interfering
I
with
got
my
a little
match.
bit
That's
of
all
heat
he was doing.
with
We
us,
had to get rid of them and get them out of the ring
with
and
us
put them
Smoky
back
Mountain
there where
wrestling
they
fans.
belong, because they did not have any business of coming out there and getting their nose in my wrestling ring.
Well, you have made your point abundantly clear, and I think the Bullet is making his point.
See, that's what he was doing. The Bullet didn't have no business coming out there, interfering with my match under any circumstances whatsoever.
Thank you very much. I think we've heard quite enough. USA Championship Wrestling on tour beginning Monday, March 14th, 7:30 p.m. in
you want to
Jellicoe,
look up
Tennessee
something,
at the high school gymnasium.
Might play it a little bit later, see if I can find it.
Pineville, Kentucky at
There's
the high
a
school gymnasium.
back,
Thursday,
had to
March
be 70 something,
7:30, Whitley
where
City, Kentucky
him and the
at the
commentator
McCreary
just
Central High
went
School
at it with each other.
Gymnasium. On Friday, March 18th, 8 p.m.
I mean,
in
you talking
Greenville,
about
Tennessee at the Chucky Doak High
just
School Gymnasium.
very
And then on Sunday
entertaining
afternoon, March
promos
20th, in
he would cut,
Knoxville,
especially in that
Tennessee, at the
accent
Civic Coliseum
and
Ballroom,
everything.
we
He
will
had
be
a worse
televising
cornbread
matches.
accent than
Plus,
I do.
Monday,
So.
March 21st, 7:30, Bonor, Tennessee at the high school gymnasium. Tuesday, March 22nd, 7:30, Sale Creek, Tennessee. Thursday, March 24th, 7:30, Harriman, Tennessee. Friday, March 25th, La Follette, Tennessee, Campbell County High School Gymnasium. Saturday, March 26th, 8 p.m., Morristown at the Tally Ward Building. Monday, March 28th, Jasper, Tennessee, National Guard Armory. Tuesday, March 29th, in Hardersburg, Kentucky. Joining me at the desk right now.
And speaking of which, there's the Bullet and Scott Armstrong.
Well, we just saw you a moment ago in action. Obviously, you've got quite a score to settle.
You know, the Bullet was a close family friend, or close friend to Bob Armstrong.
USA Night of Champions right here in Knoxville. Also, we'll be going up into Jellicoe, Whitley City.
I think Bob Armstrong was taking a sabbatical at the time,
and I hope
Bullet stepped in to kind of take the place and teamed with
I've heard him run his mouth so much.
Scott.
He's going to do this. He's going to do this. His man can do this. Well, anybody can talk a good fight, but when it comes right down to it and you get nose to nose and toes to toes, that's when the real bad to the bone man's going to stand tall. Okay, so we got that fellow. Now he's got this other dog, this dog that follows him around. That moon dog, follow him around doing this, doing that. Well, I'm going to tell you, I got super kick Scott Armstrong right here behind me, and I'll tell you this. One good right foot is worth 20 left hooks anytime. So he'll be waiting with that super kick, right, Scott?
That's exactly right. You know, but I just want to say one thing. Bullet said we're going to be doing some mountain climbing, and that's the truth. By the end of this summer, we're going to be professional mountain climbers. We're going to go all over the mountains, wrestling every which way, and we're really looking forward to that Night of Champions like he was talking about.
Yeah.
The party boys, Johnny and Davey Rich, myself, we're going to be there. We're going to party hardy. We're looking forward to it.
One thing about Ron Wright, like I said, he talks a good fight. He's got two men surrounding him.
Has anybody ever listened to Scott Armstrong's podcast? Scott Armstrong's podcast, I listened a few times. It's actually pretty good.
I won't say it can't be done because I'm not that overconfident. In this profession, you never know what's happening because you don't know who's at your back at all times. You've got to be really careful. With the caliber of athletes that USA has brought in here, they hadn't spared the coins, Gordon. They spent a lot of money. They got a lot of good wrestling talent in this area, and anything can happen at any time. But so far, the mask has stayed where it is. You can call me anything you want to. Just call me when they ring the bell because that's when the Bullet takes care of business.
Thank you so very much, gentlemen. There you have it, the Bullet and Scott Armstrong.
In the ring at this time, weighing 230 pounds from the state of Arkansas, Alan Reynolds. And his opponent, managed by Ron Wright, from Louisiana, weighing 265 pounds, the Dog. This match, one fall, 15-minute time limit.
Well, the Dog wasted no time in charging after his young opponent, Alan Reynolds.
And this is
Reynolds.
they just kept on calling the Dog, but that's Moondog spot, Larry Latham.
There's the belt.
I believe he was in a tag team with
The Dog right after.
Wayne Ferris, who became the Honky Tonk Man as the Blonde Bombers in Memphis.
So Reynolds ducks away.
Former WWF
Arm
tag
drag and twist by Alan Reynolds, and now he's
with
got the
Randy
Dog
Cooley.
possibly in trouble.
The other Moondog.
I've been looking forward to this match, Gordon. This Dog here really impressed me the last
Original
time he wrestled
Demolition
on
Smash,
TV.
or not
I was
Larry
curious to see
Latham,
if he
but
could do as well this time as he did
Randy
last
Cooley,
time.
he was the original
Reggie's
Demolition
got his
Smash.
manager and bone there, so he ought to
A
feel
little too,
real comfortable.
even though you put the base paint on,
Yeah,
a
Mr.
little too
Reynolds
recognizable.
isn't feeling too comfortable right now. That is for sure.
Yeah, I can tell that. And if he's out there, I'm surprised if Ron Wright doesn't do something to him while he's got the opportunity. And he is. He's using that cane. Boy, I like the way Ron Wright has spiffied himself up here. He must have come into some big money. Look at this Dog. He's wild. They ought to call him Wild Dog. I don't know what name he has for him, but they ought to call him Wild Dog.
Well, that's a fact. I'll tell you what, young Reynolds has bitten off a lot more than he can chew here. But he's a game competitor trying to get back to his feet, trying to get in the ring.
Oh,
Like a lady
wait.
from ringside there is trying to help him get back in the ring.
Grandma, sit down.
Trying to get Ron Wright from getting to him.
I would certainly not advise any folks who are watching or going to any matches to ever do that, however.
That's right.
That could have some disastrous results.
That's a good point. It's a good thing she is a lady.
And Reynolds back in the ring once again.
that
And
might have
Reynolds
been-
has not been able to move effectively.
That might have been,
And that one almost tore his head off. Dog comes off the top, the second rope rather.
Knight's wife or something like
Quick float over. Didn't allow the pin. Now there's that streak of cruelty.
Well, that's going to be inbred, I got a feeling, from Ron Wright from this point on. Ron Wright likes it that way, and the dog's going to do what Ron Wright wants, I'm sure. Oh, he planted that right firmly in the young boy's throat. He's really taking the measure of this young boy. He's getting a wrestling lesson. I'm not so sure he's getting a wrestling lesson, but he's getting some type of lesson for sure.
It's a Saturday night street fight is about what it's boiling down to.
Ron Wright loves this, the style he's
with Grandma Ballet.
impressed with.
And I'll tell you what, the dog fires back. Young Reynolds was not afraid to give it his all, but thus far he has just not been a match for the dog. He's giving away experience. Oh, belly to back suplex.
Very nice suplex for that style. His style doesn't show that. Oh, gee, he turned him a flip. Turned him a flip.
There'll be no getting up from that one.
That's for sure.
And
Put
he's
him
all
away in
over.
style.
Let's take another look at that if
And
we
also,
may.
I didn't see it. Did y'all see
Ron,
it?
there's no way he could get up from this one.
Oh, he got up there, and he's a big man, the dog here, and he's going to come across there with that forearm, and he really plants it on him, turned the young man a flip. When you hit someone hard enough, turn them a flip like that, Gordon, you have really connected with him, and that's exactly what he did. He plants that knee right into his chin just to make sure he doesn't get up, and he gets that 3 count.
Now for our new weekly feature of the week, and this is the personality profile. And right now we're going to be doing one on Bill Dundee. He's 5'8", weighs 205 pounds. He is from Melbourne, Australia. And every time
The little Aussie, Bill Dundee.
Bill Dundee steps into the ring, he knows he's going to have to give away poundage and height. But many times, as I've said before, it's not the size of the man in the fight, but the size of the fight in the man. And Bill Dundee's got a lot of fight in him. Let's take a look at this special on Bill Dundee.
And let y'all sing along. It's Wild Boys by Duran Duran. So I don't want to get in too much trouble today, so we'll cut the volume down a little bit. All right. It's Dundee and Botwinkle right here. So Memphis did this a lot, and the Mid South UWF did it a lot. They would, like I said, MTV was very popular, so they would make music videos of their wrestlers or wrestlers coming in. They do these music videos to kind of help promote wrestlers coming in or wrestlers. Uh, Basically, that's kind of how the Rock and Roll Express got over before they even got to Mid South. They played music videos of them, and it's like, wow. And they debuted and did big business for Bill Watson Mid South promotion. Uh, I think they did the same for Jim Crockett Promotions, NWA. Right before they came to the Carolinas, they played music videos of the Rock and Roll Express. And so Dundee, he's about to go to this promotion, so they just
there
ran
you have it. The
little music
superstar
videos,
Bill
to,
Dundee, and I'll tell you something.
kind of
He
show him
is
what he
indeed
can
a
do.
superstar. This man has tremendous heart. Let's bring him out for our special personality profile for this week. And there you see him.
And what's he doing? Coming up with players' music.
A great athlete, and there's a question that I want to ask him, because he knows that every time he steps into that ring, he is going to give away that poundage. He's going to give away that weight. Bill, first of all, it's a real pleasure to have you on.
Yeah, I mean they were really good about putting videos together. I mean, I said Rock and Roll Express. I mean, I think the Fabulous one's the first one they did that with.
You know that every
They
time you
aired a
step
bunch
in the
of
ring,
music
invariably
videos
you're
of
going to be going in
Stan
against a
Lane and
man
Steve
that is
Keirn and
taller
as the Fabulous
and
ones.
heavier.
And
Yeah,
before I think before they actually had their first TV match, they were already over.
The first story in there was about David and Goliath.
Thanks to those music videos, which were very gay.
That way David come out on top in that one, and I just never cared how big they were. I just always believed in that philosophy. It doesn't matter how big he is.
Very
If you just go in
cringeworthy.
there and you got the Lord on your side, you're going to win, brother.
Well, that is a tremendous philosophy to live by. There's certainly no question about that. I know that you've held regional titles all over the world.
Yes, sir. And I had a few in Australia, and like here, there's a lot of big names here, like the Stompers here, and you got the Dog here, and you got Bull. You got a lot of great talent here, so I just hope I can capture myself a belt here, Mr. Soul.
Well, there are some belts here to be grabbed, including that USA Heavyweight Championship. I understand, too, that it really doesn't make any difference who you take on.
That's right, and that's just like I said. I mean, when I was at school, all the bullies wanted to beat me up, and any young kid out there, if the bully's beating you up, brother, just don't ever give up. Just get up and get back in his face, and you'll see him back off. And I've discovered that's the philosophy in professional wrestling.
Okay, there you have it. Personality profile this week on Superstar Bill Dundee.
Thank you.
Superstar Bill Dundee.
On the program is a one-fall match, 15-minute time limit. In the ring at this time, from Castlewood, weighing 228 pounds, Mike Sampson.
Yeah, I think he had a got a pretty good run in Memphis in the early '90s. I think that's about the only thing he did.
Making his way to the ring now. Phil Rainey, our ring announcer, moves out. Tommy Withers, our referee. Mike Sampson is the opponent, and Scott Armstrong caught from behind. By Sampson, and Armstrong has had no chance to remove that jacket. Sampson is determined to make a reputation for himself in a hurry. And Scott Armstrong in trouble, no question about that. High play. And Ron, I just don't think Scott's going to be able to get it on the way.
Well, I don't know. He still hasn't gotten his jacket off, and that's unlike Scott to not be watching and turn his back on an opponent like that. I think maybe he was a little bit inspired by coming in and getting that great reception from the fans. He better get started here at some point. Maybe this is where he's going to turn it around. Maybe he is going to get started here.
Brother, he just kicked it in high gear. There's no question about that.
This is a young man with a lot of fire, I'll tell you this. Scott Armstrong's got tremendous go power once he gets it cranked up.
All the Armstrongs had great drop kicks.
Beautiful flop.
They were all pretty decent workers. I mean, Brad was the better of all of them. Oh, there's that super kick.
There you saw it.
If you know what?
And
He got the stuck with
he
that.
put his man out of action. Special high to Don and
That doesn't count. Restart the match.
Okinawa
Got
watching
slapped
this,
the thigh when he delivered super
today.
kick.
And now let's take a look at that replay.
Yes, if you see here, Gordon, he shoots him in the ropes, and he sets up, plants that left foot, and that right one goes right into the jaw. Perfectly placed, perfectly timed. And
He
gets
did the
that
Mexican for a while,
opposite
too,
leg
as a
there,
Dixie
cinches him
Dynamite.
right up, and he's got himself a 3 count.
USA Championship Wrestling coming to
But yes,
Jonesville,
that's the
Tennessee,
same
Monday,
Scott
March
Armstrong
14th at the
who
high
was
school.
I guess the
Tuesday, March
senior
15th,
official or
Pineville,
one of the
Kentucky at the high
main
school.
referees in
Thursday, March
WWE for a long
17th in
time.
Whitley City, Kentucky at McCreary Central High School.
Had that like
And Friday, March
freaky
18th,
with
Greenville, Tennessee
CM
at the
Punk.
Chucky Doak High School. And then Saturday, March 19th, Knoxville, Tennessee, Civic Coliseum. Match time 8 o'clock, the first annual Night of Champions. In the main event, USA Tag Team Championship goes on the line with the Rock and Roll RPMs versus Johnny and Davey Rich. The Tennessee Heavyweight Championship with Doug Furnace versus Nature Boy Buddy Landell. In a special event, the Mongolian Stomper, managed by Ron Wright, takes on the Masked Bullet. The Texas Heavyweight Championship goes on the line with Freebird Terry Bam Bam Gordy versus Terry Adonis. In an international heavyweight championship, the Universal Hog Throb, Austin Idol takes on El Lobo. The Australian Heavyweight Championship goes on the line with Bill Superstar Dundee versus Lord
Gosh,
Jonathan
everybody
Boyd.
has belts here,
That's the
too.
Civic Coliseum
Well,
in Knoxville,
they
Tennessee,
did say
Saturday,
Night
March
of Champions,
19th,
so.
first annual Night of Champions.
Before I talk to these two gentlemen, I'd like to remind all of you, of course, that wrestling will be... Yeah, exactly. Wrestling will be coming to Pineville, Kentucky at the high school gymnasium, and that will be on Tuesday, March 15th. Now, the Nature Boy Buddy Landell will be there, the world's strongest man, Doug Furnace. This gentleman, Hector Guerrero, will be there.
Boys, all of you are born coal miners' daughters. That's what it looks like to me up and roll.
That's right. Hey, Hector, what has 32 teeth and weighs 1,000 pounds?
Baby Shamu? No.
Front row ringside in Kentucky. Wrestling match.
Let me tell you something. Doug Furnace, the only reason you're the strongest man in the world is because I had a fever and a headache that morning and I failed to miss the show. Make the show. Okay, let me tell you something. This Tuesday night, Pineville, Kentucky, we're going to put you on the map, baby. But let me tell you something. Hazard, Harlan, the whole Kentucky area, baby. Let me tell you something. My good friend Ron Wright told me about you pig farmer rednecks down there. We're going to come and turn it out, baby. Count on it, right, Hector?
And you want to talk about some wasted talent? That's one of them. I mean, well, if he had showed up that TV taping, he would have been the NWA World Champion, at least out short run. Ty Morton, the supposed brother of Ricky Morton of the Rock, as you can tell, of the Rock and Roll Express. Not sure how legit that is either. Like I say, yeah, Hector was hilarious as a heel. I don't know if you remember him and Al Madrill in Memphis. He was hilarious. He was hilarious here.
Moving around the ring, and of course she'll be picking up that robe. But there he's got that glove on again.
Well, he sure does, Gordon. It seems to be. He says he can't wrestle without it anymore. His career would be finished if it weren't for the black glove. And in my opinion, the black glove is going to make Buddy Landell's career because there's obviously something in the glove. He loads the glove. I don't think there's any doubt about that. I don't know how he loads the glove, but I'm sure that he does load the glove.
Well, I certainly have to agree with that. A moment ago, we were mentioning Don and Dorothy Webb, U.S. Navy on Okinawa.
Oh, yeah, like I said, I don't know how. I don't know if Ty Morton is the legit brother. I'll have to look at it. I mean, I've looked it up before, but I never.
In the armed services who are watching USA Championship Wrestling.
And that's a typical heel move. Babyface gets a nice little move on him, and goes to a referee and says, "Hey, pull my hair."
Landell might be having some second thoughts.
Well, I think he is, Gordon. I'd like to take this time to say hello to my good friends out of Delmar Haynes. And I'd also like to say hello to my friends at the Quality Inn downtown in Knoxville. They're very nice there, and they treat us great. USA Wrestling there, and I'd like to say hello to them.
Ty Morton, let's see.
Right
Funniest memory I have of Ty Morton. I went to Center Stage for a WCW Saturday night taping, and he went up against Brian Pillman when Brian Pillman was just starting that. He just became a horseman and was doing the whole loose cannon thing. Chopped the piss. Excuse me. Multiple times. Chopped the piss out of Ty Morton here. Gave him a pile driver.
Now Morton's in a lot of trouble now.
Yeah.
No question about it. Now he gets him into a rear chin lock.
Yeah, I was just seeing that.
Morton's upper body has reddened considerably, as you can see.
But yeah, he
and his face turning beet red here.
Pillman gave him a pile driver and threw Todd on top of him. You know, referee counted 2, and you know, I wish I can find that on the. Well, I can't show it on here, but trying to do a search on YouTube, Brian Pillman versus Todd Morton. I don't know. They might have chopped it up a little bit, but yeah, that's what I was just talking about. Wasn't Todd the one we seen it versus Pillman at center stage? Yes.
Landell was a step ahead as Morton went charging in.
That shows that experience. Landell's got great experience. He's been wrestling for years. In my opinion, he doesn't need a black glove. He could wrestle just fine without that black gloves, and he's using it to his advantage in every match that he's in.
I think Landell could have had a pretty good career. I mean, or could have.
He's giving him a wrestling lesson.
Along with he had his bad habits.
And he's reached around and
I think he admitted that he had a little bit of an ego too. I mean, I think, like I said, I rewatched this interview recently where he said, "Hey, if I had a little bit of money in the bank, I was good."
And Landell wasted no time in retaliating.
So once he would work,
across the face. Obviously, it's wow.
He said,
Caught him coming in, using the elbow, the back of the elbow, very, very effectively. Morton trying to get rid
if he
of
didn't like the situation, he just left or told him he wasn't going to do it. Or just made a spectacle of himself. Plus, I'm pretty sure the cocaine helped.
He's hanging in there as best he can.
Right,
Grandma, quit touching the wrestlers' asses.
Hasty exit there out onto the floor. And it's probably a good thing that he's there, in my opinion, Gordon. It's going to give him an opportunity to get his breath a little bit and maybe get his head back together. Landell just took it right out of his head right there.
But Landell, go back, watch some Landell stuff. I mean, promos were great, entertaining.
Landell strikes like a cobra. There's certainly no question about it. He is as dangerous an opponent as I've ever seen in the ring.
Grandma about to get in there and whoop some ass.
That's a strong forearm there. He turned the boy a flip with it.
Oh, is he going to do it? Yes, the corkscrew elbow.
Elbow in the back of his head. The boy may be out. Looks like he may be out.
I think you're right. There's a young lady who is very irate over the treatment that Todd Morton is taking at this particular time.
Now what's he doing here, Gordon? This is the part of why does he need to do this? I think he had this boy beat. Why does he want to do this now? Add insult to injury.
Caught him flush in the head. Drove him to the mat. And
look at this.
Now that don't talk. Load the glove up.
Let's see if we can't take a look at that in instant replay. And maybe we'll catch it. All right.
Yeah, as you can see here, Gordon, he's already loaded or done something to that glove, and he hits the youngster right in the top of the hairline, it looked like, and he's out. The young boy looks like to me, well, he's still in the ring at this point. He is out. He's knocked him out cold. And he's knocked several people out cold with that glove. Now you can see this is ridiculous here. He's going to do it with one finger. That's insulting. It's insulting to the youngster. It's insulting to everybody else as far as I'm concerned.
Well, it is that indeed. I might just say that young Todd Morton is still out.
Still gone.
Yeah, I think they need to get somebody out to help this. Look at this. I can't believe this. As if Landell hasn't done enough already to him.
Uh-oh.
And
Grandma's going to do a run in here. Run in there, Grandma.
I don't know what he wants to do to him here. I think he wants to.
Well,
I bet he wants to hit him again. He can't. Youngster's out so much so that he can't even do it.
Wait a second.
Oh yeah, like this.
Hold on. Doug Furnace just charged in the ring.
That was one big freaking dude.
Landell. Setting up a high backdrop. And Landell trying to back away now. Doug Furnace charging in.
Well, I guess this time Landell got some of what he's been dishing out. And this boy right here, Doug Furnace, will certainly give it to him.
No question about that.
A lot of bad blood between these two. That's it, Doug. I want to see. He's going to pull this glove off. I'd
There's Hector.
Guerrero just hit the ring. The referee calling for the bell. We've got a situation.
Oh yeah, Hector was a good heel.
That's it, Doug. Doug's hanging
Had the
Beautiful drop kick by Doug Furnace. Another drop kick that has Guerrero back to the ring.
3 drop kicks in a row. Doug is doing
oh,
great.
you gotta
Stay
understand,
on
that's
him,
a
Doug. Stay on him.
pretty big dude be jumping up that high for a drop kick, dude. But yeah, in Memphis he had the I think he had the hair cream too at the time, or the salsa one time that he actually threw in somebody's eyes.
Again, and nail Furnace from behind with it.
Oh man! Oh, he caught him with that one.
Caught him right on it with that. Right on it with that one. Here comes somebody else in the ring here. Try to stop this.
That was a mistake. Furnace is down.
This is getting completely out of hand here. I don't know what they've decided. Looks like they're both now going to put their attention on Furnace. Furnace has really been short-sighted here, having the both of them on him, and Landel's really taking advantage of him here.
Furnace has been lacerated, no question about that. Furnace lacerated. Hold on.
Come somebody else, maybe he can help him here.
I don't believe anybody's going to be able to help much here.
Guerrero put a neck breaker on that boy. They are really cleaning up here, it looks like.
Oh, man, a pile
driver there, and
Doug Furnace fired
Yeah.
Doug is trying to fight back.
Yeah,
Oh, gosh,
Doug
Doug's really been
Doug
hurt.
Furnace.
Doug has
Yeah,
been
about the
hurt.
same size. Well,
They need to get some help.
not
They need
as
to get somebody else.
big as Brian Cage, but legitimately strong.
And Hector Guerrero beating a rather hasty retreat. But we've got total carnage in the ring.
I did do the like as many clips and stuff like that as Brian Cage. He did mostly power moves.
I hate to see that.
Now this is really a shame. We're going to have to break away, and we'll be back. We'll be back in just a moment.
USA Championship Wrestling coming to Jellicoe, Tennessee, Monday, March 14th at the high school. Tuesday, March 15th, Pineville, Kentucky at the high school. Thursday, March 17th in Whitley City, Kentucky at McCreary Central High School. And Friday, March 18th, Greenville, Tennessee at the Chucky Doak High School. And then Saturday, March 19th, Knoxville, Tennessee, Civic Coliseum. Match time 8 o'clock, the first annual Night of Champions. In the main event, USA Tag Team Championship goes on the line with the Rock and Roll RPMs
pretty good
versus
card to
Johnny
have gone
and
to
Davey
at the
Rich.
time.
The Tennessee
Like I said,
Heavyweight Championship
RPMs I thought was a little
with Doug
underrated.
Furnace versus Nature Boy Buddy Landell. In a special event, the Mongolian Stomper, managed by Ron Wright, takes on the Masked Bullet. The Texas Heavyweight Championship goes on the line with Freebird Terry Bam Bam Gordy
Yeah, I
versus
recognize the name Terry Adonis, but I
In the
don't
International Heavyweight Championship, the
recall a
Universal
lot
Hawk
of it.
Throb, Austin Idol takes on El Lobo. The Australian Heavyweight Championship goes on the line with Bill Superstar
Lord
Dundee
Jonathan
versus
Boyd.
Lord Jonathan Boyd. That's the Civic Coliseum, Knoxville, Tennessee,
From
Saturday,
New Zealand,
March 19th.
one that
First
New
annual
Zealand
Night of
sheep
Champions.
us. I think the original
Well, I'll
one.
tell you what, thank heavens you and the Riches and Scott Armstrong were on hand.
That's right, Mr. Sully. We're not saying. Buddy Landell and Hector Guerrero, let me tell you something, punks. Let me tell you something. Them kids all starting to get in the wrestling business. You didn't do nothing, Daddy. You didn't do nothing. You beat this kid, Breck, but it took that black glove. All them young boys just starting to start. Why do you keep beating up him one-on-one? Or the superstar, Bullet, or the super kick, or the rich boys? No. You want to make a reputation beating up young kids just trying to get in the wrestling business. Remember when you started, boy? You know how hard it is? Well, let me tell you how hard it's going to be from now on. Wherever you see the Riches, wherever you see the Bullet, the super kick, or Doug Furnace or the superstar, we're watching out for one another because we made it up to here, Daddy. That's right. You got that right. Now, I'm just going to tell you something. If we got to pick up a chair, that's what we're going to do. If we got to cheat, that's exactly what we're going to do. It's not the real way to do it or the right way, but by God, it's the way we're going to do it.
Hey, now! Yeah, I know you can hear me back there, you little slimy punk. Let me tell you something. That glove, before this is over with, is going to be on your head because I'm going to get my hands on it and I'm going to do this to you, you slimy little worm.
Well, I
slimy
can
little
understand
worm.
how they feel about the situation, and obviously Doug is going to have to be attended to
like I
He's
said, he was
pretty
a real
badly
good
lacerated.
time. I mean, I
I
don't
can
think he
certainly
ever really
understand how he
felt
feels,
any
and
strong promo
superstar Bill Dundee as
style. Like I
well.
said, he was
Some
him and
vengeance is
Bill
going to be
LaFleur,
theirs, I
Dan
feel
Crawford
very, very sure. We'll be right back.
were a big deal in Japan.
For USA Championship Wrestling, let me remind you, if you'd like to come down and see these matches as they are televised at the Knoxville Civic Coliseum in the Grand Ballroom, you may send your money order for $3 per ticket to USA Championship Wrestling TV tickets, P.O. Box 5.
Did he just say $3 for a
Knoxville, Tennessee, 37950.
ticket for a TV? Oh, I mean,
Might also point out, of course,
WCW would let
are
people
on sale
in
at
for
the
free
box
at
office
center
the day
stage,
of
but
the television matches. Now, if you'd like to have wrestling in your community as a fundraiser, may I suggest that you call C. Ronald West. Call C. Ronald West for USA information on wrestling, and that's area code 615-584-7509. Now, Ron, we've got some matches going on all over this area.
Yeah, first of all, I'd like to say their next television taping is March 20th for the fans out there. And also there's wrestling Monday in Jellicoe, Tennessee, and Tuesday in Pineville, Kentucky, Thursday in Whitley City, Kentucky, and Friday night in Greenville, Tennessee.
Hey.
A lot of great wrestling, and I can't wait to see what Doug Furnace does when he gets his hands on Buddy Landell after what happened here on the program today. And I know next
Ron
week
Fuller,
we've
he's got
the
a pretty good
against the
podcast
RPMs right here
called
on
the
television.
Snowcast.
I'm looking forward to that
It's
one.
pretty good.
Mongolian Stomper in
I haven't listened to it in a while, but
Bill Dundee
well, I've
in
listened to it.
action,
It's
a great
pretty
card
good.
for next week's program. And also, I know there's a lot of people out there that have been asking me, how can they become a professional wrestler? There's going to be some upcoming news about the USA School of Wrestling, the official School of Wrestling. They'll be training wrestlers to break into the professional ranks, and big news on that next week.
Fair enough. All right. All of that, much, much more upcoming here on USA Championship Wrestling. Till next week, then, on behalf of Ron Fuller, Gordon Soley saying so long. Solely saying so long.
All right. That was USA Championship Wrestling. Pretty good stuff. They had a pretty good roster. Like I said, Terry Gordy he would get in there. Um, he would actually have a feud with Doug Furnace. I think they had some some hard hitting slobber knockers, as JR would say. But I remember what was it? Yeah, I guess around that year, like I said, watched this show called WATL Superstars of Wrestling on Channel 36. It was hosted by a guy named Joe Pansino, but every year he would do a thing called WrestleThon, where this 24 hours of wrestling, and I think the year after that, the first year was nothing but wrestling. The second year, I think they showed some movies in between. But like I said, it was like 24 hours of just wrestling, and the one in '88 around this time, they showed an episode of USA Wrestling. I guess people wrote in, they liked it, they dug it, and they started showing it regularly on Superstars Wrestling, just based on that WrestleThon. But like I said, the promotion didn't last long. Then went to Continental Wrestling Federation, and at the time, the territories were pretty much dead and gone. Yeah, like I said, not bad. A lot of familiar faces. A lot of people from the Continental, a few people from Memphis. And like I said, Buddy Landell, I mean, it's one of the most entertaining dudes at the time. Very underrated. Should have had probably a better career, but if he had just kept his head straight for just a little bit, get that title belt on him, and then lose it back. That would have kind of kept clean, you know, or clean as possible. Not, uh, I mean, like I said, it's on YouTube, so he's probably got like two or three of them, I think. But like I said, do a search, Buddy Landale's shooting review. I think it's like one of the first ones I bought or somebody bought, but it was good. This promotion, it was pretty good. Uh, let me tell you, the Fullers knew how to put on a pretty good show and get the right talent there. I watched some. I wish I could get some good, clean copies of Southeastern because they do got some Southeastern stuff on YouTube, but the quality is kind of bad. Maybe one day for a watch along, I'll see if I can find a clean copy and put it on here. But I mean, Southeastern at the time I was talking about, you had you know Johnny, Johnny Rich, Steve Armstrong, Scott Armstrong as the Rat Patrol. Uh, yeah, Landale was pretty good. He was one of my favorites as well. You also had Austin All there. You always also had the original Midnight Express, Dennis Condrey and Randy Rose. Uh, and that was where Arn Anderson actually kind of really started kind of become his own person a little bit in Southeastern, right before he went to the Crockett's in '85, I believe. Um, he would team with Jerry Stubbs. Uh, and like I say, you had Robert Fuller, Ron Fuller. They had their own humongous guy there. I think that's no. They had an assassin, but it wasn't Jody Hamilton. Yeah, who else they had at the one episode I've seen? And of course, you had Bob Armstrong as well. Bob Armstrong, not the Bullet, just Bob Armstrong. Um, I think I got one too. Like I think I seen one. It was like 81, 82. A young Brad Armstrong. But yeah, and he always had a pretty good roster. Had a bunch of good people. Continental was always great. Continental is like one of my favorites to watch during that time. Um, I watch, like I said, I've said it probably 100 times now. Uh, it was definitely one of my favorites. I need to find a one where it had the Duguini Headhunters against the Armstrongs, that suicide match or whatever. Uh, but yeah, uh, so far though, I'm not sure what we're gonna do next week. Uh, Sometimes I don't know till the next day. It's hard for me to think on Friday. And of course, I mean, been doing this for what? Not the live streams, but the YouTube channel for well over a year now. Probably a year and a half, I guess you can call it now. So, I just gonna wing it. Uh, just call in the ring if you want to call on the screen. That's what I see. I still got that bad habit. I want to look at the screen instead of look at you or look at the camera. And I'm sitting there thinking about, oh, maybe I should, put two cameras up here so when I look over here, you can still see me. And I mean, you still see me, but I can still look at you. What anyway? Different problems, different day. But yeah, well, I'll definitely think of something to watch next week. Probably maybe watch some Memphis next week. I did go back. You know how recommendations they give you sometimes on YouTube, and I pulled up this promotion called Wild West Wrestling. It was basically, gosh, what was his name? Anyway, uh, World Class wasn't doing so good, so he started his own. I can't think of his name now. Mantel. I think was it Johnny Mantel? Might have been. It was something Mantel. Anyway, He started Wild West Wrestling. They did TV tapings at the world famous Wild or oh what was it called? God dang it! It wasn't Wild. Was it Wild Bills? Billy Bob's in Fort Worth, Texas. That's where they had the TV tapings. I watched the episode and I was like, because I was sitting there thinking, it's like, hey, maybe I can watch, share this with my audience at Wrestling Gold Friday night. And I sit there and watch it. I'm like, oh no, oh no, no, no. This will make Portland the time I watch. We all watch Portland wrestling. It will make it look like the WWE now. Not that good. Uh, some rookies on there wasn't that good. Had the fabulous Lance on there, which of course was Lance Von Erich, but of course everybody knew he wasn't a Von Erich, uh, so he had to go by the fabulous Lance. I don't think he stayed long there either. But it wound up merging with, I guess when because I was reading stuff about it, Mantel did buy a portion of World Class. I guess Fritz's portion or something like that. Who knows? Um, and pretty much Wild West, was supposed to be like a little offshoot, developmental, I guess, whatever. But they really didn't do nothing with that because, hell, Dallas was on its ass at the time. But yeah, definitely not going to show that anytime soon. uh, so yeah, maybe go back to Ricky Vaughn, not the pitcher for the Cleveland Browns in the major league, not Charlie Sheen, Ricky Vaughn. That was I don't know if that was his real name or that might have been a gimmick name or close to his real. That's probably close to his real name. I think it was because he started in Portland as well. Uh, but yeah, his name was Ricky Vaughn, not a Von Erich, not Lance Von Erich. Wasn't even Lance. No Lance to it whatsoever. It was just Ricky Vaughn. Ricky Vaughn Eric. See, this should just put the Eric in at the end and say, yeah, this guy's been competing as Ricky Vaughn because he didn't want to, totally, kind of like the David Haskins, Davey Rich thing. Uh, but his real name is Ricky Vaughn Eric, not Vaughn, not Ricky Vaughn. Um, let's see what else. Oh me, but yeah, I think it's getting about that time. I call it a night. I hate to be one of those people, but man, my eyes are getting a little heavy. Uh, this all of a sudden started getting a little heavy, a little burning. So I think on call it a night. I do unfortunately got to work in the morning, but before I go, let me plug some stuff here like I usually do. Every Tuesday I do a show called Wrestling Trivia Tuesday. What I do is every Tuesday I ask 5 questions all dealing with sport professional wrestling. Like I said, get on there, uh, play along with friends, and just be entertaining and see how your knowledge of wrestling, professional wrestling is. That's every Tuesday. It's not a live stream. It's just a regular recorded video. I do. Let's see. And of course, I do a weekly WWE Raw recap show as well as a weekly AEW Dynamite recap show. Um, the Raw I usually try to get it on there by Tuesday evening. If not Wednesday, just depends on the schedule. The AEW Dynamite, yeah, I know I've been missing a lot of those lately, but I'm trying to get back on track of those. I usually record those and send or upload those right before I do this show. A spot show live stream with Ronald Ray. This is the original OG uh, live stream that I started a few. How many? How many of these do I got now? A couple months worth. But yeah, spot show live stream with me, Ronald Ray, every Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Mountain, 5 p.m. Pacific, 9 a.m. Friday morning in Japan, 5 a.m. Friday morning in India. And of course, this week's Spot Show live stream, should be really fun. Like I said, it's going to be going to do some fancy booking. Put the put do a what they call it, Forbidden Door, a WWE. Uh, yeah, a lot of people are missing on that. I mean, this um, if you don't want to include those who are missing right now, just don't include those. I don't think. I'm trying to think, is any of mine going to include? I think my I'm still putting mine together. There's a couple of them that hasn't. I mean, they haven't been on TV in a while. And ones I'm talking about is like Britt Baker and Jamie Hayter. They ain't been on TV in forever. But yes, that's going to be this week's Spot Show live stream. Going to do some fancy booking. So and it's going to be a Forbidden Door card, WWE, AEW, AEW versus WWE. Put some talent. Each promotion face each other. Uh, like I said, mine's probably a little more conservative than a lot of the others, but hey, let's have fun with it. See what we come up with. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to this Thursday's Spot Show live stream, and of course every Friday. If you're not into the today's wrestling, we have this show, Wrestling Gold Friday night, every Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Mountain, 5 p.m. Pacific, 9 a.m. Saturday morning in Japan, and for our friends in India, it is 5 a.m. Saturday morning. Like I said, next week, not sure what we're going to do. Definitely look at oh January or June 6th in wrestling history. Going to do that. Maybe when I do my research about that, something will pop up and we'll watch that wherever I can get. Like I said, I think I do need to see if we can do a way we ain't got watch on here. This kind of like I said last week. Do it like they do on the Remember When. We'll do a countdown, each press play. That way we can actually all watch together, sort of, and I can, do my feedback like I do on these other ones. But yeah, uh, might start doing that soon. Uh, just depends on when I can do it. But like I said, that does it for me this week. Hopefully, everybody has a fun, safe weekend. I know it's not a holiday weekend again. We got to just grind it out for another month before we get the Independence Day weekend. Yes, I call it Independence Day because it's Independence Day weekend. It's not the 4th of July holiday. It's Independence Day. That's the name of the holiday. Sorry, don't mean to get on a soapbox, but uh, it's Independence Day. Anyway, like I said, see you folks next week. Hopefully, see you folks next week here on Friday night or Wrestling Gold Friday night. Until then, you folks have a good one and take it easy. Hey there, thank you for checking this out. If you enjoyed it, share with friends, drop a like button, leave a comment. Also, be a champ and hit that subscribe button. You can also check me out on social media on RPATRPTV 46. Until next time.
So long from the peach state of Georgia.